can move on with the second presentation. The speaker is Ornella Herrera. Please reach us on the stage. And it is a reproducibility paper, and the title is Reproducibility and Analysis of Scientific Dataset Recommendation Methods. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. I am Ornella Herrera, and today I present a reproducibility study of scientific dataset recommendation methods. Scientific datasets are all the observations, analysis, results derived from scientific experiments, but also the collections of data that we use in our scientific experiments. So an example of use case of scientific dataset recommendation is when we are reading a research article and the system recommends us a set of scientific datasets which are relevant for the research problem investigated by the research article. Some of the approaches in the literature are metadata-based. Metadata are textual information about the dataset and includes information such as authorship, provenance, or description. This kind of experiments rely on the textual similarity between the dataset's metadata and the dataset, for example, of a publication. Another set of approaches is the graph-based approaches, which perform the recommendation relying on the exploration of the so-called scholarly knowledge graphs, which are knowledge graphs interconnecting products of research, such as publications, datasets, and authors. And two relevant examples of these scholarly knowledge graphs are Microsoft Academic Knowledge Graph or the OpenAIRE graph. So in the present study, we selected 4 dataset recommendation methods from the literature. These methods are all characterized by different input, different outputs, and are all tested on different datasets. The linear SVM and the B-encoder retriever are 2 examples of metadata-based methods, whereas Ensemble CN is a graph-based method which relies on the exploration of a citation and a co-authorship network. And the last method is graph-based, and it is an heterogeneous variational graph autoencoder. So we first performed a replicability study involving the selected methods. Then we analyzed the reproducibility. In particular, we evaluated the performances of the selected methods on 3 distinct datasets. And finally, we analyzed the generalizability of the 3 baseline recommendation methods on the dataset recommendation task. So we first analyzed the replicability, and we investigated whether we were able to replicate the results of the B-encoder retriever, the linear SVM, and Ensemble CN, whose code and data were publicly available. According to our findings, we found out that the linear SVM is the unique method which is fully replicable. The B-encoder required code maintenance from the original authors, and the Ensemble CN method instead is not replicable, as 2 out of 3 experiments could not run properly. The main goal of the reproducibility study was studying whether the selected methods could run in different situations, specifically different real-world situations. To this aim, we defined 3 new datasets we used to test the selected methods. The first one is MESS, which is a scholarly knowledge graph which is curated. It is small, and it relies on a dense interconnected co-authors and citation networks. An opposite dataset is PubMed, which is the largest one, and it is sparse. It is the example of real-world academic dataset. And PubMed K-Core is a subgraph of PubMed. It is an intermediate example of dataset. In this dataset, publications are connected to at least 2 datasets and vice versa. So we first tested the B-encoder linear SVM and ensemble CN methods on these 3 datasets, and we found out that the B-encoder is the unique method which is reproducible, as it turned out to be effective on the 3 datasets that we proposed. A different situation concerns linear SVM and ensemble CN methods, which are not reproducible. This is related to the substantial differences between our dataset and the datasets run by the authors. In particular, for example, in ensemble CN method, we see that it achieves high performances exclusively in mass, which has a dense co-author networks, but this is rare for academic data. And finally, we re-implemented the heterogeneous variation on graph autoencoder, and we could draw the same conclusions we drew before. In particular, the DELF dataset, which is the one provided by the authors, is 10 times denser than ours, and this motivates the high performances obtained by the authors with respect to ours. And the last set of experiments concerns generalizability. In this set of experiments, we wanted to investigate whether methods as top-up, BPR, and LightGCN recommendation methods could generalize on the dataset recommendation task. To run this method, we considered the classic user-item interaction as publication dataset interaction, so we consider publication as users and datasets as items. So the results that we obtained show that we cannot generalize these methods on the dataset recommendation task because they obtained low effectiveness except for one case, which is the case of PubMed K-Core 2 dataset, where these methods achieve high performances. And this is motivated by the fact that this is the unique dataset with a low number of isolated nodes, and it is well interconnected. But this is not true for what concerns mass and PubMed datasets. So what have we learned from this exploration about dataset recommendation methods? So as of now, there is no method which currently targets the limitations related to academic data, such as sparse graphs or incomplete metadata. According to our study, we noticed that the lack of reproducibility is due to problems in data sets. In particular, all the methods were tested against ad hoc design dataset, which reflected an ideal condition instead a real-world condition. Indeed, for example, metadata-based solutions assumed that all the metadata were perfect and complete and rich, whereas graph-based solutions assumed that the graphs are not sparse and are in a unique, huge connected components. So that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks. Thanks, Ornella, for your presentation. I would say a quite original problem, you know, and datasets of datasets you have used in your experiment. Yeah. I have two curiosity. One is more for fun. If any of the datasets you have used contains datasets for recommended systems.
Contains, sorry?
Dataset for recommended systems.
Oh, no.
Because this would be, I mean, no. A recommended system that recommends dataset for recommended system would be a kind of recursive. Yeah. No, but a more serious question. I was wondering, from which point of view, in your opinion, recommending datasets is different from recommending other type of objects in other domains? What makes peculiar this application domain?
Well, the problem, for example, for what concerns graphs, is that differently from the graphs that are usually used in the recommender systems, scholarly knowledge graphs are very sparse and characterized by a lot of small connected components. In addition to this, when we have to recommend datasets, we have to say that for each, for example, publication, there are at most, according to my study, 5 datasets which are relevant. So it is difficult to, and it is challenging to perform a recommendation placing high in the ranking the datasets which are the most relevant because they are very low number if compared to other recommendation tasks.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And if there are no questions from the audience,